The history of Osaka and Umeda stations. Umeda is the northern gateway to Osaka and a prosperous commercial district crowded with glittering tower blocks and complex network of underground shopping malls. At the heart of this bustling urban center is Osaka Station with its surrounding network of 6 satellite stations. 3 of these satellite stations, the Hanshin, Hankyu, and subway stations, are collectively and confusingly known as Umeda Station. This is despite their being located in separate locations and served by different rail companies. Osaka Station itself is housed in a massive shopping complex and is connected to other stations by a series of tunnels and walkways. If you are unfamiliar with this area, then it is not difficult to get lost. However, there is so much to enjoy and discover in Umeda that it is worth taking a little time to familiarize yourself with the local layout before you arrive. In this article, we will look at the history of Umeda as it developed around Osaka Station from the late 19th century to the present day. It is a fascinating history of organic and dynamic growth that reveals a great deal about the native Osaka temperament, its competitive spirit, and its canny eye for market opportunity. 1874 to 1899, the first Osaka Station. The first Osaka Station was opened on May 11, 1874 to accompany the establishment of a railway line between the cities of Osaka and Kobe. A Western-style red brick building just 2 stories high, it was situated a little further to the west of the current station, closer to where the Osaka Central Post Office stands today. It is hard to imagine now, but at that time the Umeda area was mostly rice fields, with just a few scattered residences. It was not even a part of Osaka municipality. However, in choosing this rural location, the city fathers showed great foresight. The original plan had been to build a smaller station with a dead-end bay platform closer to the south in the more urban location of Dojima. This would have been closer to the city's river transportation network. And just 2 years before, Japan's first railway station in Yokohama had been built in the same style of bay platform. However, in order to allow for the line's eastward expansion, it was decided to adopt a through station design. And for that, more space was required. Choosing both this through station design and the more open Umeda location would prove crucial to the development of the stations, as it became an important hub in the expanding national network of railways. In fact, just 2 years after Osaka Station was established, the line expanded east to connect with Kyoto. 1901 to 1935, the second Osaka Station. Osaka Station made Umeda the city's principal transportation hub, and as the area prospered, both passenger and freight transport increased. At the turn of the century, it became clear that new facilities would be needed. To connect the station with the municipal tram line, a broader station front plaza was also necessary. So in 1901, Osaka Station was moved to its current location and housed in a grander stone-clad building. This new station building became a famous landmark and was renowned as one of the 3 great modern buildings in Osaka, along with the Osaka branch of the Bank of Japan, built in 1903, and the Japanese Mint Senpukan building, built in 1871, both of which still survive. The second station building was dismantled in 1935 to make way for a more modern design. But it wasn't completely demolished. Instead, the building's materials were shipped east and reassembled in Tokyo, where the building housed a school for girls until it was finally destroyed in the 1940s during a wartime air raid. 1906, Hanshin Umeda Station. In Osaka Station's early days, it was familiarly known as Umeda Eki, or Umeda Sutensho, Umeda Station in the Japanese approximation of English at the time. This ceased to be the case, though, as more railway companies were attracted to the area and built their own Umeda terminals. The first major challenge to Osaka Station's predominance was the Hanshin Umeda Station, which opened on December 21, 1906. By that time, many of the country's major private railways had been nationalized, and Osaka Station lay at the hub of several government-run rail lines. Hanshin Electric Railway found a new outlet for competitive private enterprise, however, by applying permission to build a tram line between Osaka and Kobe. This new line, now the Hanshin Main Line, was in direct competition with the government-run Tokaido Line, and would never have received official permission had it been opened as a railway. However, by calling the new route a tram line, the Hanshin Company could circumvent the problem by applying it to a different government department. In fact, only part of the line needed to run along public roads for it to qualify as a tram line. And the official speed limits for the trams were routinely ignored from the beginning. So for all intents and purposes, this was a railway. In contrast to the Tokaido, which followed a direct route between Osaka and Kobe, the Hanshin Main Line was deliberately designed to follow a more convoluted course, so it could reach more potential passengers. This earned the railway the nickname Curve Company, and made for a longer journey time, but fares were cheaper and services were more frequent, and the new line was a tremendous success. The line opened in 1905 and was extended to Umeda in 1906. In the following years, many other railway companies, including Hankyu and Keihan, would copy the Hanshin loophole to open their own intercity railway lines. Today, Hanshin Umeda is an underground station located directly to the south of Osaka Station between the Dai Hanshin building. Originally, Hanshin Umeda Station was situated further to the west in the location now occupied by the Herbie's Ent building. It was moved to its current underground location in 1939. Though the Dai Hanshin building's outward appearance has remained largely unchanged since the late 1950s, large-scale renovations began in 2015 that are due to be completed by 2022. Hankyu Umeda Station. The first Hankyu Umeda Station was opened by the Mino Arima Electric Tramway Company on March 10, 1910. This company, which was later renamed Hankyu Corporation, followed the example set by Hanshin Railways by setting up its own interurban tram line between Umeda and Takarazuka in Hyogo Prefecture. In the coming years, the intense rivalry between the two companies would become famous, with both Hanshin and Hankyu setting up their own competing department stores and baseball teams. Hankyu Umeda Station's major historical contribution to Umeda's development, though, is in developing the original business practice of partnering railway stations with department stores. Having leased the first floor of the station building to the Shirokiya Retail Company in 1920, Hankyu established its own Hankyu Mart in 1925. This was again redeveloped into the 8-story Hankyu department store in 1929. Boasting the best quality products at the cheapest prices, the store was incredibly successful and was repeatedly enlarged between 1931 and 1969. In 1971, the station itself moved to a site northeast of Osaka Station, but the department store remains at its original site, directly opposite its old competitor, Umeda Hanshin Station. In 2006, the old rivalry ended when the two companies were merged. And between 2005 and 2012, Hankyu Department Store underwent extensive renovations. It has now moved away from its old mass market image toward a more high-class international brands. However, the store remains a famous Umeda landmark, and Hankyu's successful pairing of a railway station with a department store has been widely copied throughout Japan. This business model can perhaps be seen as having reached its zenith with the giant Osaka Station City shopping complex that now houses Osaka Station. 1933, Umeda Subway Station. Umeda Subway Station was first opened as a temporary station on May 20, 1933, together with the opening of the Midosuji subway line. This was Osaka's first subway line and was built to stimulate the local economy and provide employment for those who had lost work during the recession. Initially running between Umeda and Shinsaibashi, This line now runs north-south through many of Osaka's most important transportation hubs and tourist locations. Umeda Subway Station was moved to its current location, east of Osaka Station, in 1935. In 1965, it was joined by Nishi Umeda Subway Station, which was opened to serve the extension of the Yotsubashi subway line. In 1967, Higashi Umeda Station was opened to serve the Tanimachi subway line. All three of these subway stations are closely connected by underground walkways, so it may be easier to think of them as one station with three separate lines. 1940 to 1979, the third Osaka Station. The opening of the third Osaka Station was planned to coincide with the Tokyo Olympics, which were scheduled to take place in the summer of 1940. Originally designed as a 5-story building with a hotel to occupy the top 3 floors, it was meant to have an imposing, modern, international appearance. Unfortunately, the outbreak of World War II led to both the cancellation of the Tokyo Olympics and the drastic modernization of the station's buildings plans, as the Army confiscated most of the steel needed for construction. The station was opened in an incomplete state on June 1, 1940, and except for a central part of the building in the upper floors, were never completed according to the original plan. (1964) Shin Osaka Station. Shin Osaka Station was opened on October 1, 1964 to serve the first high-speed Shinkansen bullet trains. Running Shinkansen tracks directly into the Umeda area was judged to be too difficult because of the complex web of competing rail lines that were already in place. As a result, Shin Osaka, or New Osaka Station, was built to serve the new Shinkansen lines. Shin Osaka Station is 3 kilometers to the north of Osaka Station, but is connected to Umeda by both the JR Kyoto line and the Midosuji subway line.